This is Karen with My Impossible Dream. And a couple weeks ago, I had a gentleman on from No Static Radio. And I know some of you wrote in and you said to me, now Karen, why are you talking about internet radio? You're doing podcasting. Well, I'll talk about any subject that has a dream. And No Static Radio has a dream. And one of their partners is with me today, Stephen Parsons. And I think he has a bigger dream besides No Static Radio. He likes the media. And we're going to find out all about his background and what he sees for the future of No Static Radio. So, Stephen, welcome. And I'm sorry for all the confusion getting here today. Traffic and paving of my road.
You should see my parking garage in Cleveland.
Oh, it's that. Oh, I know where you are. You're at Reserve Square.
Yes.
I used to work at Reserve Square.
Yeah, don't work there now.
I wouldn't. There's plenty of critters there.
Well, there's that, and we share ramps going up and down on the first to the second floor and the second to third floor using traffic lights now. During this major reconstruction that we have going on in the building right now. It's very stressful, and it adds a lot of time to finding a spot, especially 4 o'clock in the morning. You can't find a spot when you have a spot paid for. That's always fun. But hey, it's
Hey, wait a second. Is the building full?
Well, they're working on so much. They're trying to. I don't know what they're doing. They say they're working, but they're doing construction on the building on the garage.
On the garage.
So basically, there's workers and there's utility vehicles in there. It's taking up some spots. So there's not enough spots for everyone, and it's been very stressful. But I've been told at some point it will be finished, so that's good enough for me.
Okay, well, all right. So that's job 1.
Yes.
And job 2 is No Static Radio.
Of course, No Static Radio, the voice of the revolution. We are in our 3rd year of the since we took over old CSF radio, which was Cleveland Sports Fan Radio, and myself, you talked to Nick Sindelar a little bit ago, and Jason Snyder is our other owner, and we've been working on it pretty hard for the last few years, and we're very happy where we're at now. We're very happy where we hope to go in the future. It started off as just sports. Cleveland Sports Fan Radio, easy transition. Make a bunch of sports shows. Let's see. Let me see if I can name a genre we don't cover right now. Because we have sports. We have underground hip-hop music. We have a bunch of personality shows. There's a wrestling show or two. Heck, there's even a religious show right now. Let's just get the political show going for the 2016 Republican National Convention going, and we got everything covered. So, honestly, I don't know if there's a topic that you can't find on No Static Radio, and we're very happy where we're at on that.
That is great. So, when the 3 of you decided to take over the station, was there a really good reason for wanting to take it over rather than just work there or find a terrestrial station to work at?
We saw an opportunity. We saw an opportunity where CSF Radio was not going to be around anymore. And we saw a place. We were familiar with it. Me and Nick had interned at CSF Radio before we graduated that year in November. And and there were 2 other people in our group at one point, which also had big influence. And I don't think it's fair to say we are where we're at now without those guys, but they're not with us anymore. But we saw an opportunity to kind of, and nothing else, freshen my skills. That's why I went into it, because at the time of the decision, I had already interviewed for a production assistant position at Channel 19 in Cleveland, which is basically an entry-level position. I didn't know what was going to happen, but I figured this is a way to at least keep my skills fresh. Going to Ohio Center for Broadcasting, anything I would ever say to anyone who wants to go there, I would always say to take advantage of your internships, make good relationships with people, because if you're just going there to get a certificate's not worth much, unfortunately. It's not. It doesn't hold the same merit as a degree does from college. It just doesn't. The name's been kind of washed in the mud a little bit, especially since we left. And my whole thing was, well, if I can't find work quick, the value of that piece of paper, which was printed for us the day of, originally with the wrong date on it.
Oh my!
We had to get it fixed. They're good people over there at OCB, but the value that was going to deteriorate more and more and more the longer I was out. Why not try to keep my skills fresh? And it was a heck of a transition, as I did get the job at 19 about 3 weeks after graduation while I was doing this thing. So I'm like, this is cloud nine. This is great. I'm doing exactly what I want to do. I'm heading in the right direction. Granted, only part-time at the TV station, but the radio station definitely kept me focused in broadcasting, and I'm very happy that I got involved with it. It was a no doubt about no hesitation when I said, hey, we're thinking about doing this. I was like, absolutely, let's do it.
Well, you made a very good point, and it doesn't make any difference if it's a certificate or a degree. You've got to keep yourself in your field. You've got to find a way. And if you don't get that first job in the field, it might mean doing another internship or volunteering, because if you're in the field, you're going to get noticed. You're going to keep your skills up, and you're going to be noticed. So you did all the right things. Mm-hmm. So you decided to take over the radio station. Mm-hmm. And so now you're balancing radio and TV.
Yes.
So tell me a little bit about what you're doing with the radio station. What is your responsibility?
Well, I used to produce a lot for the radio station. Back when we were very shorthanded, I used to produce Mondays, some Fridays, and Saturday mornings while working at the TV station, kind of balancing everything. There were times where I did not have days off. And, you talk to people, oh, yeah, I haven't had a day off since. I'm like, you don't understand. I don't have days off. I'm being very, very dedicated to what I'm doing. I used to live in Painesville, Ohio, which is about a 45-minute drive to Cleveland, Ohio. And that was a long hike for a long time. It wasn't until I got the full-time position that I could really justify moving to Cleveland, which is where I'm currently living now. I'm now 10 minutes away from downtown. It's the closest I've been to Cleveland ever, obviously. So it's nice. But yeah, the things I do a lot of production work when I can. Always trying to make sure things are running smoothly. I really try to look over our Twitter, Facebook pages to make sure we're promoting as much as we can. You might see Indian scores pop up every once in a while. I'm trying to do them more regularly. That's me, behind the scenes, pushing the buttons, pushing the tweet buttons.
Okay.
And I also try to keep an eye on the direction, the programming of all our shows. Like I said before, we were starting to talk. Like, I lose track of how many shows we have sometimes because we keep adding and adding and adding. Like, oh, didn't we just add? Like, all right, well, okay, cool. But it's like I said, I don't know if there's a genre we don't cover right now. There's so much versatility with all our shows. There's so many demographics we go after. It's amazing, and it's unlike anything I thought 2 years ago we would be at this point.
Well, one of the things that I have found since I've been in internet radio and doing podcasting as well, when you tell people that there's an internet radio station, or they can find that radio station on a podcast, they have no idea what you're talking about. So many people are just, what do you mean? Is that WMJI? Is that WMMS? Is that, what radio station are you talking about? So when you meet somebody and you explain that you are no static radio, mm-hmm. How do you explain no static radio?
I explain it this way because you have plenty of family members wondering, so how's the radio? It's funny, you tell people that you work in a TV station, top 20 network, top 20 market in the entire country, but you're also a co-owner of an internet radio station. Everyone always thinks, "Oh, how's the radio station going?" And yeah, it's very difficult to explain to people who have no idea what it means. And what I'll say is, it's radio. You can't find your radio dial. You need an internet connection. It's online only. There are many ways to access it. Easiest way, you go on your computer, nostaticradio.com. It plays as soon as you open up that web page. But wait, there's more. You could always download the Mixlr app, not Mixlr with an E, but Mixlr. I know, Apple was creative with that one. I get that. Or whoever came up with the name of it. I thought for the longest time it was Apple exclusive, but is now on Android as well. You can search No Static Radio. We're the first one that should pop up. I don't think there's any other No Static Radios at this time. What else do we have? I mean, yeah, those are the two ones we're doing right now. We are trying to get more ways, but those are the two easiest right now. Going through either your cell phone. If you can listen to it on a tablet. You can download the apps on a tablet if you want. I have it on my iPad as well. Makes it a little easier to listen to it. Because I'll produce a show, make sure everything's sounding good. Play the app. Okay, we're good. All right, back to the show. And that's the easiest way to listen to us. Is you need an internet connection. You just can't do it without internet.
And we all have internet connections. It seems like everybody's walking around with a smartphone. I don't know anybody who doesn't have internet connection, and there's plenty of places that have free Wi-Fi, so there's probably not a good excuse why you couldn't listen to No Static Radio if you wanted to.
No.
Okay.
If you're not listening, you ought to.
That's right, you ought to. I've listened a couple occasions, and you are right. You do have a variety of programming out there. So tell me, how do your shows get to No Static Radio?
Well, there is a Contact Us tab on our website, and it gets you right to our Chief of Staff, Nick Sindelar, whatever you want to call him. We'll call him a different role every day.
Okay.
And he's been handling a lot of that. Of course, you could always, we have our staff page on there as well. Me and Jason, you can always contact us through email or Twitter. All of our contact information is on the website. You just got to do a little bit of navigating.
Well, and it's really not hard to navigate your page.
Yes, the old setup we had was kind of tacky, I don't think people are going to like this. So then we made some changes. We changed some kinks, and it's extremely user-friendly now. It's very clear what button takes you where. In the front page, we have a lot of our recent interviews, which is mostly CSF stuff. We do have some stuff from No Static Radio. Of course, we have all the programming pages, which will tell you who's on the show, what time they're on, how you can get a hold of them through email or Twitter, information when they'll be on the air. And, of course, we have the archive show page as well. We hold the last 4 shows that each individual show will do on that page. And of course, all of our shows archives are available on our Mixcloud account. That's Mixcloud.
So the nice thing about this is that if somebody's out there listening and they say, I have a great idea for a show, and I'm a would-be broadcaster, they could contact you and come out and meet you. And if their show idea works, and if they appear to have the concepts and the ability to put it all together, you might be able to work a deal.
Yes, that's the best thing you can do is reach out, because there's no such thing as a bad idea out there. And if it's something you want to do, reach out, see if it's possible. 5 years ago, I wasn't enjoying where I was at. I was a manager at Advanced Auto Parts. Now I like to call them ketchup and mustard because their colors are literally ketchup and mustard. I mean, seriously, we'll walk into a store, they got the ketchup shirts and the mustard writing. and I just wasn't very happy. Personal things going on in your life, and I went to college. Things didn't work out the way I wanted to, but you found something you liked in college. But here you are in life, and you're trying to figure out how a guy who's only 24. What do you do next? Well, you get a call. You take a chance. You bust your you-know-what hard for 12 months. You find and meet some pretty good human beings, Nick and Jason. You start something, and you look back, and you're like, wow. 4 years ago I was doing that, and now this is where I'm at now. And nothing is impossible, which has been the whole driving point of your whole foundation,
right,
and your whole there is right. The word impossible does mean I'm possible.
Well, and more people have to understand that just because you decided one day, whether it be in high school or college or some other time in your life, that this is what I want to do, or this is what I'm expected to do, and you do it, but if you're not happy, it doesn't mean that you can't make changes. It doesn't mean that you can't look for options. You might have to do something else while you're making those changes, but don't live your life being unhappy. If you would have stayed selling auto parts the rest of your life,
I'd probably be in prison right now because I would have punched someone in the face.
Okay, well, I'm so glad that you didn't do that. I've said this on many of my shows before, that I grew up in an era where I was taught if you make your parents happy, and then you make your husband happy, and you make your kids happy, that I would be happy. And I lived that way most of my life until a couple years ago. I woke up and I said, I'm making everybody happy and I'm miserable.
Mm-hmm.
And as soon as I said it out loud, it was like, it's my turn. I hope most people don't wait as long as I did. Waiting until you're 24 isn't all that old to make those changes. And you may make changes again in your life.
Mm-hmm.
You may wake up 5 years from now, 10 years from now and say, you know what? There's something else I want to do. Or I want to do this differently. And there's nothing wrong with that. That's why I also encourage people, if you have an idea for a show, even if you don't want to do the show, bring it to No Static. Maybe somebody else wants to do the show.
The other thing I forgot to mention earlier when you were asking about show ideas, even if it's, like, let's say you want to do a show Mondays 1 to 3. It's the only time you can do it. Well, I'm sorry. That's my slot. I can't give it up. Or that's someone else's slot. They can't give it up. I am open to podcasting. We experimented with it with a show. It was our pro wrestling-based show. One gentleman was in Pittsburgh. The other one was in New Jersey. They sent me the audio. I put the commercials in between. It ran for about 2 months, and then their schedule just got busy. I think the one just got married this weekend. But we are open to doing podcasting as well. If you want to record the audio yourself, similar to what you're doing here, or if you have a little studio yourself, send it to me. I'll edit it. I'll get it on the website. I'll do it myself. So that there are many, many options, not just live. We can do podcasting with commercials inserted after the fact.
Now that's terrific, because there are people out there that, have the equipment like I do.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe they can't get out of their house. Maybe they can't come down to your studio. Maybe they are working full time and only have certain, times that they can do this. Like Steve said, impossible does equal I'm possible. Think what your possibilities are. So as you grow No Static Radio, where do you see yourself in the future with it?
Forecasting's never been my strong suit.
Okay, well, I'm putting you on the spot.
Well, let's see here. When I graduated from OCB, I didn't really think I'd be in the Cleveland market for too long. When we started doing this, I'm like, okay, this will buy me a little bit of time. Things in the broadcasting world are not easy when you are working in it. When you have broadcasters that come and speak to the school and say, I wouldn't want my kids in this business, it's not a sign that anything's going to be easy. Well, I didn't get into this business because I thought things were going to be easy. I got into this business because of the overall payoff, that you're going to enjoy what you're doing, that something different should happen every single day. It might be the same format, but at least it's new content every day. For almost 2.5 years, I struggled at the part-time level at 19 up until recently when I got a full-time position. Then I met my girlfriend a year ago, so I think I'm happy where I'm at. You know, want to potentially set up a family with her down the road in this area. So I will be here as long as I can be here to make No Static Radio go. And I'll be driving this vehicle until all 4, maybe 5 wheels fall off. I'll put some spares on too to keep it going. That's the way I've always said, and we're gonna keep this thing going. You know, what's in the future? Who knows? You know, we've talked about possible video casting down the road, getting some better equipment. You know, maybe do some online streaming that matches up using equipment such as Twitch, which I know is very popular in the gaming industry. I think that the Twitch app is amazing, and whoever came with the idea, a simple idea, is rolling around in millions and millions of pennies and dollars right now. So, I mean, who knows what can happen. Technology could even go even further. I didn't think we'd have as nice a studio as we have right now a year ago, and it looks like a real radio station. And when you have people that work in terrestrial radio stations in Cleveland come in and say, wow, this looks nice, that's the biggest compliment you can have. And you always want to keep things going for everyone else. It's about the show hosts that want to come in and host their show. It's about their listeners. That's what it's all about. And we want to keep it going and keep the best quality going for it.
Well, I know you have a lot of quality going on No Static Radio. You know, I'm proud to know both you and Nick. I can't wait to meet your other partner. Mm-hmm. I also want to start to meet some of your show hosts, because I think if we can talk to them and have them share their experiences, why they do their shows. Mm-hmm. You know, why are you doing a sports show? What got you into it? You know, why are you doing a hip-hop show? I mean, what is hip-hop? A lot of us use the word. Mm-hmm. We don't even know what it means. Might get some of us interested in the music that would never even think about listening to it. Some of your other interview shows, where are they finding their guests, and what are they talking to their guests about, so that we can get people listening and going to those archives. Because again, maybe when the show is on No Static, it's at the wrong time. People are working, people are eating dinner, they're out and about. But like you said, they're on the archives. You could go and listen anytime on your computer or your phone. What else can we do for No Static Radio? Anything?
Boy. What else can you do for No Static Radio? You individual or just anyone who's listening?
Anyone who's listening. Myself.
You can follow No Static Radio on Twitter. That's a great start. Now, you know, if you're looking for something to listen to that isn't, if you're sick and tired of the terrestrial radio and you want to hear people that are more on your level, hey, that could be me. If you're interested in doing something in radio, let us know. We have never turned anyone away. The only time we ever had people leave is if we have agreements and you decide to go out of your way to unfulfill those agreements, and then we gotta say, okay, we're done. But we've never turned anyone away. There's no such thing as a bad idea for a radio show, because if you're willing to put the time and preparation into a 2-hour block once a week, why not? Someone may be listening to it. There's so many different demographics out there. We have a very, very good, how do I say this? We offer compensation if you help us find a sponsorship. We can talk about those numbers in private, but it's not all one-sided like you might think. We appreciate anyone who ever wants to help us get a sponsor, because, as I said, I didn't think this thing would still be going 2 years ago. There were times on the road trip we hit a couple flat tires, but it's all about how you get back up, and we've had a tremendous staff and tremendous shows that have helped us get to where we're at now. So what can you do for No Static Radio? Give us a listen or give us a call if you're interested in doing a show. Follow us on Twitter. When we do our live remotes, which I want to start doing more of, come out and meet some of your favorite hosts out there and check it out. And because we love interacting with people, we go out every year for the NFL draft. We go somewhere. We went to the Wing Warehouse in Northfield, which is not that far from here.
Sure.
We went there for about two or three times, and we decided to change it. We went to Scoreboards, which I believe, Nick, were a stone's throw from the Wing Warehouse. I really enjoyed our time at the Scoreboards bar here in Northfield. Northfield's a very nice little area. I don't come out here nearly enough. I know Nick's from the area. That's a very, very good area. But we like interacting with people, so just interact with us, and maybe we can start something. Especially if you do have a dream in radio. Like, I always wanted to do it, but I can never be on radio. Try me. Just try me.
Well, you seem to be doing very well.
Mm-hmm.
So, I don't think we have to try you. I think we have to listen to you. And I do want to add that for those of you who are listening, and you all know who Alex is, he's been on internet radio before. He's had his own little show besides being on internet radio, and he is looking to join No Static Radio in the future. And when Steve talks about the fact that compensation is good, it is good. Working with getting sponsors, they will work with you. When Alex first came home and told me that he met with them, I was a little leery. When I sat down and I met with Nick, I have to admit I was sold, and that's why I decided that I wanted to promote No Static Radio, because I really believe in the product, and I want to see them grow and grow and grow. Whether Alex ends up having a show with them or not, they have a future. And hopefully Alex will get it together, and we'll see bits and pixels on No Static Radio in the very near future. Steve, before we wrap it up, any last words?
Any last words? I'm speechless right now. I appreciate the time of coming on your program here, and you talking so nicely about No Static Radio. We really do appreciate it.
Well, next time we're going to be talking about all the news shows you got, okay?
Sounds like a plan. Thank you.
All right. Thank you.